Disney is one of those companies that we can't get enough of. We just can't get enough of Disney, with its princesses, animated cartoons, theme parks, resorts all over the world, magic, and fairy tales. Here are top 10 most surprising facts about Disney. Number 10. The famous main character of the Walt Disney movie WALL-E was, in fact, named after co-founder Walter Elias Disney. WALL-E, a cute science fiction, romance movie, came out in 2008. It was made by Pixar, and Disney got it for people. Even though the name sounds strange at first, it comes from Walter Disney, who along with his brother, helped start Disney. What a nice way to honor someone. Number 9. Steve Martin's first job was in Disneyland. Another shocking thing about Disney is that Steve Martin used to sell guidebooks at Disneyland on the weekends and when he was out of school for the summer. From 1955 to 1958, 3 years passed. During this time, he even went to the Main Street Magic Shop, where he learned how to show tricks to people who might be interested in buying them. Number 8. Steve Jobs was Disney's largest shareholder, 7%, and board member. Jobs sold Pixar Animation Studios to Disney in 2006. This gave him a 7.3% stake in the media giant and a seat on its board. Surprisingly, his legacy can be seen in almost every part of Disney. From the resurgence of Walt Disney Animation Studios to the $1 billion makeover of Disney's California Adventure and the expansion of its cruise line, according to about a dozen current and former Disney and Apple executives. Number 7. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was a make or break for Disney. It cost $1.4 million to make at Disney Studios. People laughed at it and called it Disney's ruin, but they were very, very wrong. Taking inflation into account, it is one of the 10 most successful movies ever made. Number 6. WALL-E, Monsters Inc., A Bug's Life, and Finding Nemo came during a 1994 lunchtime brainstorming session. Here's another surprising thing about Disney. In the summer of 1994, when they were making their first full-length movie, Toy Story, the key creative minds at Pixar had a now famous lunch in a Point Richmond diner. Eventually, they came up with the ideas for the movies A Bug's Life, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, and WALL-E during this lunch meeting. The story has become a legend in the world of animated movies and a key moment for Pixar. So much so that the teaser trailer for WALL-E showed it. Well, do you like what you are seeing so far? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep watching because you don't want to miss what we have at the number 1 spot. Number 5. The 2-minute storm in The Little Mermaid took 10 special effects artists over a year to finish. Yes, folks, which was a huge hit and has 2 more sequels. But do you remember The Little Mermaid's 2-minute storm scene? Yeah. The shocking thing about Disney is that it took more than a year and 10 special effects artists to make. It has been a long time. But since there were no ways to move water back then, we can see why it would take that long. Number 4. Monsters Inc.'s character Sulley has more than 2.3 million delicately animated individual hairs. So that's why it took an average of 12 hours to make a single frame of Sulley. Pixar studio engineers were scratching their heads. One of them was trying to find a reasonable and effective way to deal with how one of the main characters' fur moved and felt. The results of the 2 tests were not satisfactory because there was so much fur that it kept getting caught in different things. In the end, Pixar made a new department and worked on a program called Fist that simulates fur. This made it possible for Sulley's fur to move naturally because it was attached after Sulley's movement had already been animated. The way his fur moved was so precise that it even took into account the forces of wind and gravity. This has to be one of the most surprising things about Disney. Number 3. Disney and Technicolor had a deal for 5 years. Walt Disney made the first ever animated movie with sound in 1928. This was a big step forward. So, when Herbert Kalmus asked Walt Disney in 1932 to make a movie with the new 3-color process, Disney agreed right away. Even though a lot of his co-workers, including his brother, thought it was a bad idea for Disney to stop making a movie that was already in production and switch to a new method, he did it anyway. He was right, as it turned out. The new version of Flowers and Trees, which was made with the new technology, was a big hit and won an Oscar. Number 2. It would take 68.5 years to sleep in every single room at Disney World. At the Disney World Resort, there are more than 250,000 rooms. It would take you exactly 68.49 years to sleep in each and every one of those lovely rooms. Goodness, that's a whole life. Number 1. The Disney World Resort is about the same size as San Francisco. The Walt Disney World Resort, also called Disney World, opened for the first time in Florida in October 1971. More than 52.5 million people visit it every year. The Walt Disney Company owns it, of course. The property is almost as big as San Francisco itself. Yup. Both cover an area of more than 40 square miles. Disney has 4 theme parks, 24 themed resorts, 2 water parks, and many other places to have fun and relax. But because it is a wildlife area, Disney doesn't use much of the land. You must be dumbfounded by these shocking facts about Disney. So, that's it for today's video. What do you think of the number 1 spot? Hit us up in the comments and let's chat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for our channel so you never miss what's coming next from us. Thanks for watching.